Okay. So again, I'm Tavares. I go by Tavares of the Sun, and I like the title Energy Hygienist because the focus is cleaning and clearing and taking account for your energy hygiene. We brush our teeth. Some of us take showers, and we clean our houses. But there's this other component of reality that is really the causal factor of everything that we see. So if we can address that, we can have a greater impact on everything else, from the mental, the emotional, and the physical. And so it adopting a lifestyle where addressing your energy hygiene is something that we push here. Well, not even push, because you know us, it's free will, free won't. You don't have to.
Mm.
You know, it's just like the sun. You want this light or not? Go ahead in the shade if you want to, but you can be this too. And so adopting this lifestyle, there's so many benefits to it. And again, it would change our lives if we incorporated the idea of clearing ourselves just like we would wash our hands or brush our teeth, with that same level of gusto. And so that's essentially just broad brush strokes of that. And I can tell you a little bit more what I got going on in the niches of that idea.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about what it is to be someone who went from I'm trying to save myself, my own life. I'm trying to find my own direction to um I heal, I do clearing work. I heal through clearing work. Um for hire, so to say. And then you transition to I teach this. I teach others to step into their ability. Like, how do you go on that journey? What's the experience been like for you transitioning from a kind of self-inspired, like, hey, I just trying to get on my right path for me, and now you're booked up all the time, teaching multiple classes a week, a month. You're about to tell us about a couple other classes you're about to teach, and that's the new life you live, where others are looking to you for support and guidance in this.
Yeah. All right. So I want to first start by saying it's a mixture of the two, where I was in a space where, okay, how can I save myself and become greater? But then being in the position of being of service to other people to do the same, I still find myself in that space where I still have to wear the cape for me. So honoring that is so important because I can't do it for them if I'm not doing it for me first. And so the interesting part, and this goes right into what you're asking for the second question, I have seen what's required to do that is something that I've termed vibrational integrity, where I have seen, because I be watching what people are doing out there, practitioners, and uh, it came from different spaces throughout my journey. Some of it was like insecurity, some of it was like comparison, but the curiosity, how is what I'm doing different? How can I make this greater, or where can I refine it? But the reality is that the difference between the work that we do and other people is the level of vibrational integrity and holding the pitch. Because if I clear someone, like a soul or a property, and then I step away from that clearing, what determines whether or not that space stays clear? But most people don't even have the wherewithal, not wherewithal, but they don't have the understanding that you're not separate from your work. Just like a CEO is not separate from their business, CEO jacked up, business start getting jacked up, right? And parent jacked up, children gonna be jacked up. It's that same principle. So the processes of cultivating myself and working with clients, I have seen where I had just what I needed to give to them, because I overcame it. And it's always this synergetic type of interaction with them. And again, what helps sustain that is again the vibrational integrity. And that's again something that I've seen directly with working with the clients out of the sun.
Does that integrity, because I've known you for a short period of time, but I've seen you and you have a lot of discipline. He will be on fast, he will be staying true to himself. Does that integrity pour into the discipline and staying on that path and not straying? Even if you are like having human moments, but still straying on, hey, I'm on this apple fast. I'm going through it. I'll be like, you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm doing it. And then he comes out of it and he's like, "Yeah, I did it." And then we're at Indian on Sundays and he's enjoying himself. So, how does that, coexist? Is that something you built over time or something you've always been?
Built over time,
Mhm.
and I think also in various levels and degrees. As sometimes you might be disciplined in one area and not in this other, and so there's a striving for more cohesiveness, and that's what I meant. Like this process don't stop. Yeah, I hit a mountaintop, but then I look down and I look back up. I was like, oh my gosh, the mountain's infinite. It never stops, right? So recognizing there's always more to do, and it's all good. That's what we came here for, right? We came here to be great. But so part of the whole discipline thing and the integrity, they go hand in hand, but I do see where, it's almost like chicken or the egg, but one precedes the other. Having the integrity for yourself will instill discipline in some shape or form.
Yeah.
It's weird because I see them all as one, but in my experience, the striving to have integrity with, for example, keeping my word to myself, having integrity for, I know what my body's telling me, and it's told me this about 50, 11 times. And am I going to do this? Am I going to reject the truth again and binge on these pistachios and cashews at night when I'm not supposed to be, right? And it's little things like that. And so um, I could say trial and error. And, you get to a point where you're just sick and tired of being sick and tired. And you're like, I got to do better. But then there's this uh, it's a compounding effect because when you see what it feels like and what happens when you honor the truth or you have integrity, there's a win and it makes you stronger and then you want to continue that. And so again, it goes hand in hand. Integrity has helped the discipline and I think the discipline also feeds into the integrity.
So, um, a look behind the curtain a little bit. The reason why we're approaching this conversation kind of in the personal sense a little bit is one Tavares, as everybody that's here knows or has seen him, is a unique character in the sense of his authenticity in the field that he's in. And for me personally, I have this uh want to see a positive representation of masculine energy that through someone who I know lives it, doesn't just talk it, doesn't just all this. So I see day in and day out who lives it. I want to see it valued and appreciated and, put forth in a way to be, to look up to and be a role model type role. That being said, I also would love to make sure that he is uh busy and occupied enough with what he wants to do that individuals don't pull don't take up all his time. So if you're in the direction of becoming a teacher and a guide and all that, I want you to be able to experience the fullest extent of what you're doing and in a way that because I know again from seeing the way that the world works and seeing your journey and others that are like you's journey that when you are so authentic and bright and all of these type of things like that, there's an attraction to your pureness or your energy or your light that, people see and they want to utilize, they want to tap into that. That's power. I see it. That's light. That's energy. That's purity. Whatever it is, they want to tap into it and they want to the kind of point it in direction for their uses or their goals and things like that. And I've seen you unique to other people who I've also seen with the same kind of attributes be not just who you are in that light side, but also a warrior for your own well being, a warrior for your own strength and power and speaking your truth and all those type of things too. And again, a little bit candid part of the conversation, Tavares is, at age range that we relate and understand where we are in our journeys, even when it comes to like your love life or romance and things like that. So we have those kind of conversations. And I know what a challenge and unique situation you're in with the balance of the discipline and someone who's going to value and appreciate who you are, why you are, and all that without trying to just tap into it to take, and things like that. So I think that this is a powerful person that's in our world, in our lives right now. So I'd like to, in all moments, but in this moment especially, really like just show gratitude and appreciation through these conversations that explore who you are.
And the crowd goes wild.
Giving flowers.
Where's the tissue?
And again, in the direction of you being supported through what you do, if you would share a little bit about the upcoming things that you're doing and why you're doing them, as far as classes that you're going to teach here in the Sun Dome 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now. Log in, we'll see. But yeah, show us a little bit about what you got coming up so that the ones of us who want to participate can.
Great. So, and first off, thank you. Oh, good. It was nice. So, energy hygiene, right? Focus. And again, in my journey working with OfTheSun, I have been looking out there, seeing like other systems, and I have come to, at this point in my journey, a conclusion that if we want to obtain some level of personal power, manifest and keep stuff that's unwanted out of your field, energy hygiene is the way to go. And making it not just something we do in the morning or at night where, there's people who brush their teeth after every meal. It's people who pop in breath mints and, throughout the day. And to have that same level of vigor and resolve regarding where you at with your energy hygiene, I see that's a path to success, within your own personal development. So we've curated a class called Energy Hygiene 101. But the original inspiration was because people who would go through the energetic clearing protocol that we have, I would see where they weren't really adhering to the practices and its application towards some of the energetic interferences that were identified. And so it was a natural inspiration of I want to be of service. I want to show them what has worked for me, directly correlating to addressing the negative motivators or addictive habits and getting some ancestral stuff off their back. And so it's called 101 because we're looking to build a foundation and we're looking at several different things. One, who are you? So, very general understanding of the energy body. Things that get real convoluted real quick, we move just the basics. So, your physical, emotional, mental, spiritual slash energetic. Boom. And then some universal laws. Actually, no, correction. Mechanics. How does this thing work? We in this holographic reality. Things are being reflected outside of you. This is all means. These are my other means. And the more we can adhere to that, the less suffering there is. Because when you see that, oh, what's produced outside of me is just a mirror, that could change. I can change. I'm the projector. What? I'm the writer, the actor, and da 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 da. It puts you back in power. So the energy hygiene practices require these types of understandings, which is essentially oneness, right? In Lakesh, what we say here. So within that, we go over some of the basic fundamental energy hygiene practices with OfTheSun. Things that were talked about earlier, calling for the highest possible vibration. Many people are familiar with Ho'oponopono, calling for right thinking, and how to utilize these to, again, gain your power back because many people have this understanding of spiritual warfare, and it's happening moment to moment, whether you're by yourself, whether you're with your children, your lover, your family members, people at work, or looking at too much news. We're dealing with it. So if you can catch yourself and reclaim your power back in the moment, wash your hands, get the cooties off of you, you can remain pristine, which, again, it goes back to who are you? Like, what are you? If you, the source, if you, fractal aspect of the all that is, and, there's these sayings that cleanliness is next to godliness. Like, so we want that, but there is an action that's required. And it was spoken of earlier how we have been separated from nature. We're so far removed. I think both Delilah and Lao Tzu spoke about it. And within nature, everything recycles itself. And cleaning and clearing is a part of that cycle that has been absent energetically. And so this puts us back in harmony with the universe, right? And again, it's practical because we're using universal laws and principles where you don't need no belief. It's already working. You just may not have awareness of how these things are functioning. So we're making things real practical because this stuff can get real esoteric and woo, but let's ground it and demystify it. So that's the general idea of energy hygiene 101.
Okay. And then you're gonna do a breath work class in 3 weeks here at the
Yep.
Sundome. What's the inspiration behind that?
Ah, man, because inspiration is I slept on breath work. And what I mean by that is, it's everywhere, right? You're a practitioner. You breathe in through the belly, exhale, right? You're familiar with these things. And but what's the carryover and like how can we go deep, not shallow? So I don't remember what was exactly, because sometimes it's a cascading of events that inspires you to do something different. But I was inspired to start doing deep breathing. And actually, just yeah, this my guidance is like, yeah, tell them. There are so many things outside of us that try to keep us away from who we are, keep us from our power. It can be so many things. It can be people, it can be habits, it can be substances, things that you're seeking to gain power from outside of self. And some of those who are aware of me, I have a history of where I dabble with plant medicine and you have these experiences and I would always hear Lao to say, I'm the sacred herb, and I'm like, oh man, I feel you, but like I'm not quite there. And so the breath really helped me tap into that truth where I could reach transcendental states of consciousness just through breathing. And I was like, dang, it's been here all along. But not just that, it does something. When you develop a relationship with breath, it begins to show you your sovereignty and your divinity. It shows you, I have everything I need. You see the laws and the mechanics of the universe working through you. That's when you like go deep and just breathe for a long time. I'm talking like 15, 17, 20 minutes, 40-minute sessions. And you just like, oh, damn, I'm going to be late because I was breathing. Like, true story. And so, yeah, it was with Brian in the back. It's like, man, I'm going to be late to this guy's house. Out here. You get blissed out. And again, I didn't need a person, a substance, a thing, or a reason to feel that way. It was all within self. And so I'm like, damn, I want to show people this, that we have everything we need. Because again, in a world that is, it's not only implied, but through commercials, through uh, the leaning into political systems, this type of parasitic behavior that you need something, you need this makeup or this chemical, or you need this protein powder, or you need this such and such. No, you don't. You need you. You need actually your divinity. Get back to the source. And the breath is like, again, it's life. Like, try to breathe. I wanted to do a little exercise with you, but we don't have to do it. I was going to tell everybody, just hold your breath, see how long you can hold it. And I know we theoretically get it, but it's something about when you kinesthetically do the thing, when you actually are in the motion. It's like, oh damn, um, what am I without this? And this is like one of the most precious things. And so it goes much deeper, but the actual class and the workshop, it's called rhythmic breath work. I think we call it pulse and flow. Is we got a nice, yeah, right, pulse and flow, to the beat. And everybody like music for the most part. So the breathwork meditations are synced, where each breath is synced to a beat. And it's cool because we do breath hold retentions. And when you're retaining the breath, the beat changes and it gets all like tranquil. And then when we're ready to breathe again, boom, it comes back in. So I know I told y'all before, breathwork mixtape, some point in the future. But this it makes it a fun way for people to engage. And we're again, it's I don't know what else to say other than that. Like, it's spirituality doesn't have to be super serious. You can have fun and bliss out with something fun like this. And also it gives an opportunity for me to vibe with people who like to do what I do
Yeah.
instead of like going elsewhere to some nightclub or some place where I know I'm not gonna be satisfied. So I don't want to go too long about this, but I feel inspired to say it that we're essentially creators, or we have lost the balance of create and consume. And so there's this parasitism, this type of behavior where like, let me go out and try to get and take and gain versus like and create, And so breath can help you get to these levels of understandings. It's real introspective, but I'm telling you, just sit and breathe, hang out with me, come vibe. You're gonna enjoy yourself. We're
Yep.
gonna have talks just like this. If you want to take it there, we'll take it there.
Anybody interested in that, you can either contact me if you're here. You can also follow the Sundome on Instagram, and the link for that class is in the bio. You can sign up for the class. Um, there's two things I'd like to finish off with. One, if anybody has not a question, but any tea appreciation comments, we're gonna invite you to speak on that or share that. And before we get to that, though, you do in your personal life and are going to start sharing this as well. You do the microgreens. Can you tell me a little bit about the experience of growing your microgreens, them being a regular part of life, where they're on the kitchen counter and you slice them off and eat a salad from them right then and there. And then if you plan on doing a class or some type of group project with that, what you plan on doing?
Yes. So again, sovereignty, right? Little baby steps. And I understand that most of the people in this room, we understand that, hey, stuff's happening with the food. How can I start growing? Sometimes there's apprehension of, oh, my thumbs ain't green, so I don't know. Right. But telling you, once I got a little taste of what I could do with microgreens, oh my gosh, I started learning to grow all different types of varieties. And it's easier than I thought. And it is so satisfying. And what originally inspired me to grow the microgreens is I got tired of the prices, but also the quality. I'm like, I'm paying almost $5 for this small, in the words of my mama, measly little pack of microgreens. And I was like, dang. So what we teach here is to not complain, criticize, condemn, right? If I want to be sovereign and free and God, right, or an aspect of that, why am I complaining instead of taking responsibility? So I started learning how to grow microgreens. And it was a wrap then, because that got me into gardening, and it created this level of confidence that, uh, again, we are in a system that perpetuates behavior of you need me, you can't do it. And so it's very problematic because it's not a really healthy energy exchange. And I'm big on the law of reciprocation. Like, yes, if I do something for you, there needs to be some level of exchange, but it's so imbalanced, right? So again, microgreens help me step into more of a balance. So I'm not complaining, but I could be the hero. So that's me wearing the cape again.
Yeah.
And so again, what has worked for me, I'm like, I want to share this with the world or the people who are closest in. So I grow microgreens, and Diane hits me up all the time. She's like, so,
About this
Got some
green.
of those greens.
she asked me this morning, she's like, when do you think you'll have it? It's, it's such, it fills me up that there's somebody who appreciates it, and she's getting value too, bang for her buck. I'm hooking it up, but it's there's joy, there's love in the process. I speak to them, we'll be teaching things like that as well, so that's coming up. I rescheduled it because there's a lot of classes and courses happening here. We're also in the mode of restructuring things, so gotta be mindful, right? You got the cape on, but you can't do everything. So April, I'm looking to do it April, and I have a lot of the equipment in terms of like grow trays for the signups. We're gonna have some soil, we're gonna have some seed packs, multiple, because I want you to have your experience. I want to go these, I want to grow those to get you excited, and we'll go over some do's, some don'ts,
Yeah.
all the things that I've learned and other alternative methods that, I encourage people to go beyond what I'm sharing, because this is just a foundation, so to say.
That's exciting.
That is exciting. I'm gonna definitely be there.
Join.
Because
Yeah,
what I tell you, I wanna
that's right. You
pull
can,
from my own source.
yeah, we can on the countertop snip, snip, snip. But
Exactly.
it's a different vibe.
All right. That was awesome. That's great. I hope that anyone who has an interest in being a part of any of these little, not even little, really, any of these individual
Right.
things that uh that we can do for our own selves, for our sovereignty, for our power, from the breath work to the microgreens to any of the clearing work to the energy hygiene classes and all the other things we discussed with Delilah and Laota. If anybody has any thoughts, questions, comments, or wants to be a part of anything, please be in communication, whether it be virtually or in person. Let's communicate about how we can work together and or how we can get you involved in something that's going on.
It would be awesome to have something for the youth and the children because they're under a lot of stress and anxieties and anxious energy. And, they're getting pills and this and that. Not saying that isn't needed, but if you just can teach them that they have the tools within them at a young age, it will carry on, as they grow older, just to like, hey, let's just breathe. If you're at school, you have a test, take a few seconds before this test and breathe. And I feel like it works with help with Harper and it could work with our youth. So that would be interesting.
We'll have to do a combo with the whole Ho'oponopono with the children, because for the children that would be so perfect as a resource
Yeah.
and a thing and to empower. We've
Yeah,
touched on
we've
that
we've
before.
lived
Yeah.
that reality,
Yeah.
teaching children how to clear themselves. But yeah, the breath work for sure. And it's fun. You gotta make learning fun until where I know so many of us often in our journeys say to ourselves, man, if I knew then what I know now, and so the fact that you're sharing it with the children and they're engaging and they see the benefits, um, it is there's no limit. It's just a matter of really instilling it and being the example, really.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, T.